Okay, so hopefully your score screen has updated. Mine just has with our final results, and it was definitely close in both directions until the very end. North, South, Ruth and Penny did have a little bit of a buffer going into the last board, but congratulations to Ruth and Penny for taking out first North, South. In second, we had Jenny and Jude, and in third, we had Lindy and Ken. Well done there. And in the East-West division, it was a little bit tighter for a while there, but the last two boards seemed to separate it out a little bit. So we had in first place Bernadette and Val, well done. In second were Kay and Diane, and third were Robert and Peter. And Robert and Peter were just off the pace a little bit for second. Technically came out at the same percentage, but just a match point behind. So well done to our winners for today. Alrighty, so we've had a few boards put in there. I think that's enough to get us going. I'll just do a quick little summary. So we've got boards 3, 7, 10, 11, 21, and 24, which feels like a good start.
Plenty, yeah.
All right, so why don't we get everybody to click on their partnership name, then click on the blue TV icon next to board number 3. That's going to bring up your detailed results. Lots of spade contracts around the place. A few people, most are getting to 4 spades. So how do you think this one should go, Andy?
This one, excuse me. I think this one should be fairly straightforward for East-West to get to 4 spades. So I'd imagine most of the South would open 1 club. 11 high card points, okay, 6 card suit. So I think it's pretty easy 1 club opening. West can overcall 1 spade. After 1 spade, North might decide to be a little aggressive and make a negative double, which shows hearts. Typically shows 6+ points, but being not vulnerable, North might stick in the double. But irrespective of that, I think East, because East has 4 card support and a singleton, adding distribution points, East would be able to make like some sort of limit raise. Some people might play a Q raise, in which case you'd bid 2 clubs. If not, then maybe you might just jump to 3 spades to show that limit raise, and then West will obviously take it to 4 spades. Seems like in terms of the play, you probably lose 2 black suit aces, losing a heart, and the diamond finesse is on side. So yeah, looks like 4 spades. Pretty straightforward in the bidding as well as the play.
I have a feeling this one might have been requested because there are some people around the place that do get taught sort of with 16 or more points, start off with a double if they've opened the bidding in front of you. Personally, I think that 16 is sort of the minimum that I'd want for that, but generally I like to think about it as would I introduce my suit at the 3 level, and with this one, no, I wouldn't. What do you teach in terms of, I guess I call them power doubles, Andy, but when to double rather than overcall?
Yeah, I also call them power doubles, and I suppose the strength is something like 17 or something, but 16s is like where you have to sort of judge, is it safer to double or is it safer to overcall? And obviously with this hand, it is a nice 16, but it's like a mediocre spade suit, so you're better off overcalling the 1 level just to get your 5 card spade suit across. I mean, what Laura mentioned definitely makes sense. That is, if you decide to do a power double, you have to think, okay, what if the auction gets up to the 3 level on the next round? Am I prepared to bid my suit at the 3 level? If the answer is no, then probably best not to double.
Great, all right. Why don't we close up board 3? I think our next one was board number 7. So now click on the blue TV icon next to board 7. Bit of a mixed bag here, a lot of diamond contracts and some 3 no trumps around the place. What do you think, Andy?
Board 7th, did you say the most common contract was 3 no trump?
Yeah, there's a fair smattering in terms of tricks. It looks like we've probably got 1, 2, 3 and 3 no trumps. We've got, I think, 2 and 5 done.
Yeah, looks like... okay, let's see how the bidding will go. Probably it'll just be mainly north-south bidding. So South would open the bidding with 1 diamond. North, maybe 2 clubs. South might repeat the diamonds, I guess. Oh no, South might just show the 4-card spades with 2 spades. I think North will eventually probably stick with the diamonds if South is able to show a 5-4 distribution and eventually get up to 5 diamonds, hoping to potentially bid up to 6 diamonds. But here, with 14 points opposite each other, probably don't want to be in 6 diamonds. So I think, yeah, probably 5 diamonds would be the contract to go for when North has like this very distributional hand. Despite having like a minor suit fit, we generally say you tend to go for 3-no trump, but given that North has like a very distributional hand, you might want to just aim for a diamond contract. And I guess on this hand, because of the unlucky diamond layout, you just have to go down 1 and 5 diamonds.
You're also up in 3-no trumps, so that's the way it is.
Yeah.
One thing just to note, and Jude's just brought it up there, so just talking about the rebid that South makes on the auction where they opened with 1 diamond and then their partner replies with 2 clubs, just playing standard, not playing 2/1 or anything like that. Your rebid you'd have with South.
So, I mean, you've got a couple of options. None of them are pretty. I mean, you might decide to go for 2-no trumps to treat it as like a weak no trump, 12 to 14. Second option is that you might rebid 2 diamonds. If this doesn't promise 6, like it could just be 5, then you might do that. But I guess we're normally taught that when you repeat your suit shows 6. The third option might be that because partners bid 2 clubs, typically 10 plus high card points, having 14 points with a 5-4 distribution, you might just like take the aggressive option and just bid 2 spades to game force the auction. I mean, just take note that 2 spades here, although it is a reverse, but given that responder has shown 10 plus points, this opener's reverse would show like 15 plus points, not 16 plus. Because given responder shown 10 plus, you just need at least 15 to get to game. And 14, you might decide to be a bit aggressive and just treat it as 15.
Just squint a little.
Yep, squint a little and pray a little.
Yeah. And also really important that after there has been a responder's 2/1 bid, that if there is a reverse by opener, you should be in a game forcing auction because we've had responder show 10 or more and our opener show 15 or more. I know there were a couple of tables that seemed to get a little bit caught up and not be able to get to game, stopping in either 2 no trumps or 3 diamonds. But really important for North to make sure that they really do something to get this auction to the game level, being that their partner opened and their responder with 14 points. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like it.
Why don't we jump into our next one, which is board number 10, everybody. So if you want to close up the replay from board 7, if you need to scroll down, the best way to do it, if you're on a tablet, just quick drag up. If you're on a computer, you can click sort of some vacant space on the score area and you can actually click and hold. So as you're clicking and holding at the same time, just drag it up towards the top of your screen. And Jude, no, 3-no trumps has no luck there either, unfortunately. Then now we're into board 10, and this was an absolute mixed bag of results. We had East, West in hearts and diamonds, North, South in spades, and no trumps and clubs. There was an absolute mixed bag here. So why don't you talk us through your thoughts?
So some people might open the East hand with a weak 2 in hearts, but I personally think it's a bit too weak given that we're vulnerable. I mean, I would be all for it if East-West were not vol. I mean, it's good to be a bit aggressive with the preamps, but when you're vulnerable, you have to be a bit cautious. And here, East, it's not about the suit quality. It's more about the distribution where East has a 6-3-2-2 shape. Okay, 6-3-2-2 shape's definitely the worst shape you can have when you have a 6-card suit and coupled. Given that you're vulnerable, I'm definitely not a fan of opening his hand with 2 hearts. I mean, having said that, if you did open the hand with 2 hearts, then I think that would actually propel North-South to get up to 3-no trumps. because it'll go 2 hearts pass. North will bid 2 no trumps to show like a strong no trump, 15 to 18. And South, holding an 8 high card point hand with a nice 5 card club suit, might just decide to raise that to 3 no trump. And that will probably make quite easily, assuming Declarer finesses the preemptor's partner for the Queen of Clubs. So that would actually make it easy for North-South to get to 3 no trump. But what about if East passes? So if East passes, it'll probably go something like pass. West has 11 high card points. It's a nice 6-4 distribution. A lot of conflicting factors here. Queens, Queen Doubleton and Queen Singleton. You're in third seat, so it's okay to open a little lighter when you're in third seat, given that you know your partner's a passed hand. But everyone's vulnerable. I think with all those factors considered, I will probably open 1 diamond just to try and be a little annoying and get into the auction. And with the 6-4 distribution, you're sort of protected. So if West opens 1 diamond in third seat, North will overcall 1 no trump. East might now introduce their hearts with 2 hearts. And I think that'll make it a little more difficult for North-South to get to 3 no trump, because as South, what would I do if East does bid 2 hearts? If I'm able to bid a natural 2 no trumps, that's what I'd do. Natural 2 no trump. But you might also be a little aggressive anyway, because with 8 high card points and a nice 5 card club suit, you might just decide to punt 3 no trumps. That's certainly not unreasonable.
If there was are you a bit worried about a stop? If there is a 2 heart call, are you a bit worried about a stopper in hearts?
Slightly, but given that I know that East didn't really open the bidding with 2 hearts, I can probably be certain that East's heart suit is definitely not solid. And I guess you're banking a little bit, but I mean, if you do land in 2 no trump or 3 no trump, they still have to lead the right suit. They might lead the diamonds instead of a heart.
Yeah, really. There that have been taken by Andy. So I think a couple of things that came into the decision making there included that East had passed initially. So in terms of bidding 2 hearts, and also the fact that they're not doubling a no trump. But then also that big inference of, well, if East didn't start off with a preempt, they don't have a very good suit here for bidding 2 hearts if they do bid it the second time.
Yeah, I mean, with East-West having some decisions to make, that doesn't surprise me that, the result on this board was all over the shop.
Yeah, definitely. All right, why don't we move across to our next one now, which is just next door, board number 11. Then we've got 21 and 24 to discuss as well. So for 11, lots of sort of 1 no trump contracts, mostly by North-South. East-West got a 2 no trump in there. East-West did a bit of competing in diamonds, and also spades was a contract in North-South. So a bit of a part score battle here. Good to see people requesting some part score battle hands rather than just the big distributional ones.
Okay, so how would the bidding go? So South has 11 high card points, applying the rule of 20, adding your high card points along with your 2 longer suits, so 5 clubs, 4 hearts. If it adds up to 20 or more, then I would suggest that you can open the bidding. So here South would open 1 club. West is a little bit too light for a takeout double with only 10 points, so I think I'd pass. North would respond with either 1 diamond or 1 spade, depending on your partnership style, whether you bypass the diamonds. There's no right or wrong style, it just depends on your partnership agreement. If North does go for the majors first, then after North responds with 1 spade, East will overcall 2 diamonds. Now, as to what the auction happens after that, I suppose as West you might try 2 no trump, natural and invitational, in which case East might pass or remove it to 3 diamonds. Yeah, I think East-West should be buying the contract here, given that North-South they don't have a fit anywhere, and East has a long diamond suit, and West has 10 points. Yeah, I think probably the best that East West can do is get to 3 no trump. The diamonds is actually quite interesting if you get to play in 2 no trumps in a no trump contract. 8 card fit missing the queen. We generally want to finesse for the queen. So 8 ever, 9 ever. It's a nice lingo to remember. If you have a suit that you're missing the queen only. So not queen jack or king queen, but specifically just the queen. If you have an 8 card fit or less, you should go for the finesse of the queen. But if you have a 9 card fit or more, then you should go for the drop by banging down your ace king. So here they have an 8 card fit. However, the fit is in the form of a 6-2 fit. If you're in a 5-3 fit, it's generally a good idea to cash the ace, come back to your hand, finesse. That works. If the suit breaks 4-1, then you might need to repeat the finesse. But given on this hand it's a 6-2 fit, West only has 2 cards in the diamond. So if you want to finesse twice, we have to finesse immediately on the first round. And that would be the winning play here because North has 4 diamonds headed by the queen. So you need to finesse twice and then play the ace king to drop the queen.
And
did anyone get to 2 no trumps on this hand?
There was a 2 no trump by East West, making 7. It's not quite getting there. I think also important to note full style points if you lead out the 9 from West, because that 9 is just as good as the Jack 10 in the East hand. So then you're already there to repeat the finesse again.
Yeah, so yeah, I think East West should probably buy the contract on board 11.
Alrighty, how about we move into our second last one? So jumping into board 21 now. Just a reminder, just scroll. You want to click and drag up to the top if you're on a computer. Otherwise, just a nice easy swipe on a tablet. So for board 21, a bit of a mixed bag. It seems to be the day. Lots of spade contracts north-south, but also some no-trump contracts thrown in there as well.
So board 21, so North is the dealer. Oh. So one good tip that I generally like to tell my students is that we normally get taught a lot of tips and guidelines. I mean, just remember, whenever you get taught some tips or guidelines, they are, at the end of the day, just general guidelines for you to abide by, but it's not really like a law. So this North's hand on 21, I would not open the hand, given that it satisfies the rule of 20 that we just mentioned before. So even though North has 11 high card points plus 5 clubs plus 4 spades, that adds up to 20, but a lot of conflicting factors here with the king, queen, doubleton, diamond. That doesn't feel like it's pulling full weight. And north, south, they're vulnerable. So I would be a bit reluctant to open the bidding on this hand. What do you think, Laura?
I'm not a fan of opening it. It doesn't have any aces. I don't, not a big fan of this one.
Rule 20, although it's a good rule, but it doesn't mean you should follow it blindly. You should always remember to use your hand evaluation, use your judgment. Okay, so my preferred auction would be pass. South would open the bidding with 1 heart. I guess East-West will be silent from here. So South opens 1 heart. North starts off with one spade. Even though North has a 5-card club suit and 11 points, but you might not get to show your spades if you bid 2 clubs first, so I would prefer to start with 1 spade. Over 1 spade, South would raise to 2 spades. We can add 1 distribution point for the doubleton diamond, but we cannot add a distribution point for the doubleton club because if you have an honor in your short suits, you should not double dip your points. So South can just raise the 2 spades, and now North can consider inviting with either 3 clubs as like a help suit trial, or just make a generic 3 spade invitational bid. I think if North does bid 3 spades, I have to be honest, I will not decline the invite. I will accept the invite with the South's hand. So probably I can see that 4 spades seems like seems like the contract to be in on this hand. How does the contract go? You lose a club, lose a diamond, lose a heart, and the game is just on a spade finesse. And game on a finesse, it's a very good game. I would always love to reach game when they're just on a finesse. Even though finesse is losing, that's not good enough reason for me to skip out on a game.
So I think that's really important there were 3 tables who did get to 4 spades going down. Do not be disheartened by your bidding. Definitely think the bidding should get you to 4 spades. It's just a bit unlucky it doesn't work today.
Yeah, sometimes you just often get to the right contract, but you just go down. I mean, that should not cause the partnership to analyze the hand, such as like, oh, why did you bid 3 spades, or why did you raise it to game? Like on this hand, if the bidding goes 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 spades, North with 11 points must invite, right? Because as the opener, you might have just like 13, 14 points. So once North invites, then South adding the distribution point with equating 14 opposite invitational bid is just completely normal to raise to game. So yeah, don't be disheartened if you get to game and go down 1. It could just be the absolutely normal result.
I totally didn't want to open this hand as North, but I have to admit, after I hear partner raise spades, I like my hand a lot more, just in terms of the King X of hearts hopefully being pretty good. You could have me, I don't know, having sympathy for being worried that even inviting partner won't think this hand's good enough, and yeah, feeling like I've undervalued it by not opening the first time, feeling a bit guilty there.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to tell partner at the end of the day that you do have 11 high card points. So, yeah, I think 4 spades seems like the right contract.
Yeah. I think the name of today's game should have been, is it a good 11 or a bad 11, rather than anything else. Around the place. Yeah. All right, let's jump into our last one now, board 24, which does not have an 11 count in it. We did have North winning the contract in hearts at every table, everything ranging from 3 hearts up to 5 hearts, and tricks ranging from 10 to 12. So a bit to discuss here in terms of how it should go.
Okay, so I'm looking at the North-South hands, and it looks like a difficult hand to bid here, especially if we want to get to clubs. I think that might be impossible. Okay, so West will start off with a pass. North opens the bidding with 1 heart. It is quite strong, but I think it's probably not strong enough for a 2 club opening bid, even though if you did open 2 clubs, it's not the end of the world, but my preference is the 1 heart opening. After 1 heart, South will bid 2 diamonds, and North will just jump to 3 hearts to say I've got really nice hearts, at least 6 of them, and the auction is now game forcing. So North is now showing something like 14 or 15 plus points. If North jumps to 3 hearts, what should South do? Now, the result merchants on this hand will look at North's ace, king, jack of clubs and says that South should bid 4 clubs. Even though that's not unreasonable, but I'm thinking if North just has like 14, 15 points and, just an okay heart suit, perhaps 3 no trump might be the bid, because that could be the last making game contract. Because if South does bid 4 clubs, then we're committed, but then we can't really get back to no trumps after that. I mean, on this hand, if South does bid 4 clubs, I mean, North might just prefer to get to just rebid 4 hearts and just call it a day. And if South does bid 3 no trump, then 17 points. I mean, South hasn't really shown extra points. I suppose you might just call it a day with 4 hearts as well. Because we have already shown 15 plus with the jump to 3 hearts, and if partner's not really interested, then you probably don't want to risk a slam. So yeah, I think 4 hearts is probably the best contract to be in on this end. I mean, sorry, Laura.
chunk of sympathy for the people who did go looking for a slam. I guess because, yeah, if you're starting to use a bit of hand visualization, potentially just partner having, say, I don't know, ace king of spades and the club hook working. These are perfect points, but that's giving them sort of a 7 count and a singleton heart, or the jack of hearts coming down. You've got a fair chunk of play if you do hit partner with something decent. So I do have a bit of sympathy for going looking, and I don't think it's really needing partner to have perfect points to be able to make a slam. I think there's a few different options in there that a slam could be makeable, but I think it's definitely hard to commit to, really. It's one of these ones where both, or you've got a bit extra, but not necessarily enough to commit.
Yeah, that's also like a misfit, as in there's not really any certain 8 or 9 card fits, and these hands are definitely the difficult ones to get to slam. And yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about not getting to 6 clubs. I mean, even the double dummy says that six clubs can make, but I'm here just trying to make a realistic auction where I think North South most likely would subside in a heart contract, because North is definitely going to persist with her hearts non-stop. I mean, I certainly would.
Like trumps.
Yeah, so 4 hearts. If you're playing a heart contract, I guess if you get a spade lead, then yeah, because of the 5-1 break, then yeah, maximum is 10 tricks. Well, that's actually good, I guess, against people stopping in 5 clubs. But I mean, even 6 clubs can be.
It's not comfortable in 6 clubs.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it is not very comfortable. You have to you have to set up the diamonds, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about missing out on 6 clubs. A lot of people I know that when they're analyzing the hand, they're trying to make up a fantasized auction to get to 6 clubs. But for me, realistically, I think North South most likely will end up in a heart contract.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think we'll leave it there for the day. But thank you very much for coming back and joining us again for a Celebrity Speaker Chat, Andy. And we wish you all the best getting back across to Perth. And if you're in 14 days of quarantine and want to come back and join us, we'd love to see you again.
Thanks a lot, Laura. Thanks for inviting me over. And yeah, hope everyone you had an enjoyable afternoon. And hopefully some of these tips that we've been able to mention about some of these boards will help you on your future games.
Okay, over and out from us. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.